Today I'm going to read Something in the Water by Ruskin Bond. I discovered the pool near Rajpur on a hot summer's day some 15 years ago. It was shaded by close-growing sal trees and looked cool and inviting. I took off my clothes and dived in. The water was colder than I had expected. It was an icy, glacial cold. The sun never touched it for long, I supposed. Striking out vigorously, I swam to the other end of the pool and pulled myself up on the rocks, shivering. I dived in again and did a gentle breaststroke towards the middle of the pool. Something slid between my legs. Something slimy, pulpy. I swam away, but the slippery floating thing followed me. I did not like it. Something curled around my leg, not an underwater plant. Something that sucked at my foot, a long tongue licked at my calf, and I struck out wildly, thrust myself away from whatever it was, lurking in the shadows, kicking up a spray. I swam like a frightened porpoise fleeing from some terror of the deep. Safely out of the water, I found a warm, sunny rock and stood there, looking down at the water. Nothing stirred. The surface of the pool was now calm and undisturbed. Not a frog, not a fish, not a water bird in sight, and that in itself seemed strange. For you would have expected some sort of pond life to have been in evidence. But something lived in the pool, of that I was sure. Something very cold-blooded, colder and wetter than the water. A few days later, I left for Delhi, where I went to work in an ad agency. The pool in the forest was forgotten. It was 10 years before I visited Rajpur again, and leaving the small hotel where I was staying, I found myself walking through the same old sal forest, drawn almost irresistibly towards the pool where I had not been able to finish my swim. Well, it was there all right. Although new houses and other buildings had come up where formerly there had been only wilderness. And there was a fair amount of activity in the vicinity of the pool. A number of laborers were busy with buckets and rubber pipes and draining the water from the pool, and overseeing this operation was a well-dressed man in a white safari suit. It turned out that he was the owner of a new school that had been set up nearby. "Do you live in Rajpur?" he asked. "I used to. Once upon a time." "Why are you emptying the pool?" "It's become a hazard," he said. "2 of my boys were drowned here recently. The pool is off limits. But you know what boys are like. You make a rule and they feel duty-bound to break it." He told me his name was Kapoor and led me back to his house, a newly built bungalow with a wide, cool veranda. We sat in cane chairs, overlooking the pool and the forest. Across a clearing, a gravel road led to the school buildings, glistening in the sun. "Were the boys there at the same time?" I asked. "Yes, they were friends." "Drowning. That was the verdict of the medical examiner." "Perhaps it would be better to leave the place alone," I said. "Put a barbed wire fence around it, keep your boys away." "I want to fill it in. Build something there, an open-air theatre maybe." Presently, only one man remained at the pool, knee-deep in muddy, churned-up water. And Mr. Kapoor and I both saw what happened next. something rose out of the bottom of the pool. It looked like a giant snail, but its head was part human, its body and limbs part squid or octopus, an enormous succubus. It stood taller than the man in the pool, a creature soft and slimy, a survivor from our primeval past. With a great sucking motion, it enveloped the man completely so that only his arms and legs could be seen, thrashing about wildly and futilely. The succubus dragged him down under the water. Kapoor and I, we ran to the edge of the pool. Bubbles rose from the green scum near the surface. All was still and silent. And then, the body of the man shot out of the water and came spinning towards us, dead and drowned and sucked dry of all its fluids. The story was put out that the laborer had slipped and fallen to his death on the rocks. Kapoor swore me to secrecy. His school would have to close down if there were too many strange drownings and accidents in its vicinity. But he walled the place off from his property and made it practically inaccessible. The dense undergrowth of the Sal forest now hides the approach. The monsoon rains came, and the pool filled up again. I can tell you how to get there if you'd like to see it. But I wouldn't advise you to go for a swim.